Several people from our area who participated in the riot at the Capitol on January 6th are among the 1,500 people pardoned by President Trump once he took office again.
WGN's Courtney Spinelli joining us now, and she has some reaction to the president's action. Courtney.
Hey, good afternoon to you both. This move yesterday by the president made good on one of his campaign promises. While the entire list of those granted clemency has not yet been released, it appears this will affect everyone implicated in the crimes.
So this is a big one.
Just hours after he was sworn in, President Donald Trump using his clemency powers to issue the sweeping pardon, calling the defendants hostages and patriots. Trump's actions a stark difference from the day after the attack, where he condemned the crimes.
We hope they come out tonight, frankly. They're expecting it.
The Bureau of Prisons ordered to act immediately, and that's what attorney Mike Leonard says happened with his client. Robin Ryerson of Schiller Park was released around midnight from Thompson Federal Prison, where he served 3 months of his 18-month sentence.
He expressed sincere remorse to the court. I think he stands behind that. I think he would have done things a little bit differently, but certainly he was never somebody who should have been incarcerated in the first place.
Charging documents show Ryerson on officers' body-worn cameras. He never went inside, but pushed back against a police line guarding the Capitol. As he was leaving the West Plaza, he was caught on video saying, quote, "Don't stop, keep going." A photo shared with WGN shows the 70-year-old reuniting with family after he was brought to the Quad Cities and took a bus back to Chicago early Tuesday morning.
Having to do 3 months might not seem a lot, but if you've ever done a day, I think you'd agree that's a lot.
Leonard says Ryerson was emotional and overjoyed by the decision. He believes it was warranted for his client, but says it's harder to justify for people who scheme to commit serious crimes, including those who harmed officers.
Yeah, I think pardon should always be done on a case-by-case, individualized basis, so it's easy in Mr. Ryerson's situation to see why he's very deserving of a pardon, maybe one of the first persons that should have gotten one.
In Washington, D.C., supporters gathered outside the jail to support pardoned inmates, including some members of far-right extremist groups. On Capitol Hill, Senator Dick Durbin, who was there that day, shared his thoughts with the president, especially regarding those who attacked law enforcement officers.
Some people died as a result of that attack. Every American should be appalled. I am very unhappy, Mr. President, that these men and women who give us so much every single day are taken for granted so much that the president pardoned those who attacked them.
Meanwhile, Marcos Gleffy, who lived in Elk Grove Village at the time, says he feels the pardons were appropriate and that people served enough time. He was sentenced to 3 years probation for breaching the U.S. Capitol.
It's just kind of a relief that I've been waiting for so long. You know, the last couple of years have been so stressful.
Gleffy, who's since moved to Florida, says it was his curiosity that got the best of him. Court records show he was identified after a tipster saw his Facebook posts. He says if he could go back in time, he'd still go to the Capitol, but would have common sense not to walk through the doors in video like he did that day.
It's always going to have a scar on me, you know, having my name, you know, associated with that day. I mean, it was a day that, you know, should have went down a little bit more different.
Trump also ordered the Attorney General to seek to dismiss about 450 cases pending against others charged. Sources with Thompson Federal Prison tell WGN Ryerson was one of 8 people serving time related to January 6th that were released last night, though not all were from Illinois. In the newsroom, Courtney Spinelli, back to you.
Thank you, Courtney.